In the high stakes world of music charts, few battles have been as fierce or as revealing as the ones fought over Billboard's methodologies. Back in 2019, when K pop powerhouse BTS debuted their album Map of the Soul Persona at number one on the Billboard 200 with 230,000 equivalent album units, including 196,000 pure sales, the narrative wasn't just celebration, it was accusation. Fans of the group, known as armies, were slammed for manipulating the charts by buying multiple physical copies of the album. Critics decried it as inorganic, a desperate ploy by obsessed international fans to game the system. Articles accused BTS fans of rendering Billboard's charts useless. Social media pundits sneered that the group's numbers were inflated by obsessive fans rather than genuine demand. The backlash grew loud enough that Billboard changed its rules, restricting sales to one email address and one payment method per buyer, and limiting how many album versions could count towards chart totals. Army's depth, fiercely loyal, organized support propelled BTS to six Hot 100 number ones and seven Billboard 200 toppers, all with minimal radio play. For example, Butter held number one for 10 weeks on sales and streams alone, yet it was framed as cheating. Compare it to Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department, or otherwise known as TTPD, shattered records with 2.61 million equivalent units in its first week, including 1.914 million pure sales. It had 19 versions. Western acts like Travis Scott bundled albums with Astroworld merch for 270,000 first week units in 2018. No backlash. The double standard is palpable. This isn't coincidence. It's a symptom of a deeper bias in how we measure musical success. Billboard's evolving rules, once wielded against K-pop's fandoms, now seemingly lenient towards Western pop giants, expose a palpable discrimination. As BTS gears up for a full group reunion, either late 2025 or 2026, following the completion of their mandatory military service, it's time to interrogate not just the charts, but the entire ecosystem of success metrics. How Billboard's reform started with BTS. BTS's rise to global dominance was meteoric. Map of the Soul Persona, released April 12, 2019, wasn't just an album, it was a cultural event. Featuring Halsey on the lead single Boy with Love, it debuted at number one on the Billboard 200, marking BTS as the first group since the Beatles to score three number one albums in under a year. Globally, it sold 4 million copies, becoming the third best-selling album of 2019, according to IFPI. But the truth is that it was underreported. It sold more than 3 million in pre-orders alone. But the triumph was tainted. Army strategy, coordinated purchases of multiple versions of an album to maximize chart impact, drew fire. In August 2021, Billboard itself published an article questioning BTS's chart dominance, claiming ARMY was organizing mass purchasing that distorted results. Fans were outraged. The piece painted the fandom as a calculating collective rather than a community of listeners. ARMY demanded an apology. And the irony was actually brutal. BTS never used ticket bundles or merch album packages tactics that had long inflated Western artist numbers. Billboard responded swiftly. In 2022, it capped digital sales at one per customer per week, explicitly targeting bulk purchases to curb perceived inflation. By 2023, rules tightened further. Only one sale per credit card or email for digital albums, with retroactive filtering that blocked singles like Jimin's Like Crazy and Jungkook's Standing Next to You from potential highs. Physical variants weren't exempt. The emphasis on pure sales scrutiny hit K-pop hard, where fans treat albums as collectibles. As one Reddit thread noted, Billboard changes rules every month, but only when foreigners threaten the status quo. In 2020, Billboard banned baked in album ticket merch bundles after acts like The Weeknd, After Hours, 275,000 units via 80 plus merch bundles. And Swift herself, Folklore, had 12 variants, exploited them. BTS never used bundling. Army's efforts were pure sales, yet rules tightened post BTS peaks, while Swift's 2024 variants sailed through. Billboard later tightened rules again in 2021, limiting fan purchases, disqualifying certain versions, and changing weightings between sales, radio, and streaming. Industry insiders quietly admitted it was a direct reaction to BTS's Butter era, when the song spent 10 consecutive weeks at number one on the Hot 100 without radio support. Instead of asking why a global act could top the charts without radio, Billboard framed the success as suspect. And then came Taylor Swift. TTPD, released April 19, 2024, amassed 891 million on-demand streams in week 1, shattering Drake's 2018 records. And 859 vinyl sales, the highest single-week vinyl haul in modern era. Globally, it sold 5.6 million copies, topping IFPI's 2024 chart. Swift sold 2.61 million units, edging out 1989, her own album, which had 1.359 million. The Secret, it had 19 physical editions, 9 CDs, 6 vinyls, 4 cassettes, each with unique art, poems, voice memos, or acoustic tracks, ballooned to 34 by June, including Goddess Edition restocks and digital exclusive. Sold via Swift's site and retailers like Target, they incentivized multiples. Fans chased bonuses, driving 1.64 million physical sales in week 1 alone. However, Billboard clarified in August 2024 that without TTPD's digital variants, it will still held number 1. Yet variants were key to blocking rivals like Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet with 551,000 units sold. They doubled the efforts with Life of a Showgirl. They released 30 versions and counting. Fans were encouraged to collect multiple editions, some available for only 24 hours, others region exclusive or signed. The mechanics, scarcity, collectability, emotional storytelling, indistinguishable from K-pop playbooks. Swift broke Adele's record for the highest first-week US sales in modern era, 4.002 million equivalent album units, including 3.48 million pure sales, according to Billboard and AP News. And yet this time, the headlines didn't cry manipulation. They hailed it as a marketing genius. Swift's team institutionalized what BTS's fandom had once done voluntarily. Media praised her as redefining album marketing. The same behavior that earned ARMY accusations as fanaticism was reframed as a masterclass in engagement. Bundling, bending, and breaking. Billboard's moving goalposts. To trace how the rules have morphed, we need to go back to bundling wars of the late 2010s. 2018 to 2019, Travis Scott, Astroworld, and DJ Khaled, father of Assad, used merch bundles to inflate chart positions. 2019, Billboard admits the system is broken and promises reform. January 3, 2020, new rules require albums sold in bundles to be offered separately for purchase. 2021, BTS chart performance sparks another update, limiting bulk sales and emphasizing radio weight. 2022 to 2024, Swift, The Weeknd, and other top acts reintroduce forms of bundling through exclusive variants and limited drops. Billboard remains silent. As Forbes noted, BTS did not break Billboard. Billboard broke itself trying to keep up. The inconsistency reveals something fundamental. The charts don't measure popularity anymore, they measure power. Depth versus breadth. The new fan economy. At the heart of this debate is philosophical question. What counts as legitimate success? Traditional systems value breadth, wide reach, casual listeners, radio spins, viral exposure. Despite that, everyone knowing that bigger labels are able to establish a relationship with radio station managers that allow them to easily put the songs they promote in rotation. That, in turn, counts heavily to the chart. K pop and digital fandoms value depth, intensity, participation, loyalty, and active contribution. Billboard undervalues that. Army's loyalty translates to sales. BTS sold 40 million albums globally without radio crutches. Surveys show K pop fans buy 3 to 5 times more merch than average, attending 2 to 3 concerts yearly per Billboard's 2025 K pop fandom in the US report. It had more than 1,400 respondents, 70% attended live events. Critics dismiss this as inorganic, but its evolution, 68% of under 30 discover music via social media, according to Music Watch, not radio. TikTok virals account for 60% of Gen Z discoveries. Podcast and gaming add 12 to 17%. Traditional metrics like radio, which has only 17% consumption, ignores this. BTS thrives here, with ARMY turning Dynamite into a 745 million stream monster sans payola. That is not manipulation, that is pure mobilization. By contrast, many Western acts build artificial scarcity into product design. It's not considered manipulation because it comes from top down, not grassroots. It fits the corporate structure of Western pop promotion. But both actions, fan driven mass support and artist engineered collectability, are the same phenomenon expressed through different channels. If one is legitimate, both should be. The discrimination that still smells like 2018. The truth is that this is cultural. The Billboard system was designed around English language, radio driven acts. When a non Western group like BTS began topping charts, it threatened the traditional hierarchy. The pushback wasn't about integrity, it was about maintaining control over who's allowed to win. This is why the language surrounding BTS and ARMY felt so moralizing: manipulation, fanaticism, inflated sales. Meanwhile, Western acts doing the same thing were breaking records, rewriting marketing, and setting new standards. It's the same playbook that once dismissed the Beatles' screaming teenage fans as hysterical. Only now it's directed at Korean idols and their global supporters. The discrimination may have evolved, but it is still there. It just wears the vocabulary of chart integrity. The Billboard problem is bigger than BTS or Swift. There is no denying and there is no doubt that Taylor Swift could arguably be the biggest act in the world right now. Her success is unquestionable. But her strategy proves the system still works for those it was built to favor. Her achievements are real, her artistry immense, but her success also underscores a widening gap between how music is consumed and how it is measured. Fans in 2025 don't discover music through radio, they discover it through TikTok trends, YouTube storytelling, and fandom communities. They don't separate visual media from sound, they experience both simultaneously. In this environment, Billboard sales and streaming formula feel prehistoric. They weren't built to capture engagement as an art form. Ergo, they don't reflect real US trend. If Billboard doesn't shed its glass tinted with discrimination, rules that disproportionately penalize non Western fandom driven acts like BTS while turning a blind eye to variant strategies from stars like Swift, it risks obsolescence. Consumer behavior in music discovery and consumption has already shifted dramatically away from traditional gatekeepers, rendering outdated metrics like radio airplay increasingly irrelevant. According to IFPI 2024 Global Music Report, 82% of listeners discover new music through social media, short form videos, and streaming recommendations, not radio or magazines. In the US, Gen Z spends less than 10% of their music discovery on AM and FM radio, while over 60% find music via TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify playlist. That's according to Edison Research. So when Billboard continues to weigh radio play heavily, it's measuring an audience that's already aging out of relevance. Then there's the expansion of music and integration to different art forms. Today's fans don't just listen, they watch, decode, and participate. From Swift's secret track drops to BTS's interconnected music videos, albums now function as a multi-medium story. A 2023 media research survey found that 71% of Gen Z listeners view visuals and storytelling as essential to understanding an artist's message, proving that music has evolved beyond pure sound. Collectible albums, visual concepts, and social interaction are all part of how fans experience music and how they express identity. This is not manipulation. This is simply consumer behavior. We do need to address the elephant in the room, marketing. Marketing used to be a separate discipline and practice from the art itself. It used to be that we are given a material and then we look for ways on how to promote that or the artists themselves, but not anymore. Marketing is integrated into the art itself, and art is integrated into marketing. We look at the actual material and see how that actual art may be used to market. And most of the time, the resonance, the fans actually resonate with the material itself, with the artist itself. So it's just a matter of knowing how to bridge the two, the fans and the art and the artists. So if Billboard continues to look at limited editions, alternate covers and concepts and multiple versions as distortions when it's coming from K-pop acts or Asian acts, but it's brilliance when it's coming from Western acts. Time will come when they are not just going to be unfair; they are actually going to be irrelevant. All of these things, music videos and creative marketing, these are parts of how a fan can actually experience and not just consume music. And it is not just a matter of looking at something and saying, okay, let's just allow bundling, let's just allow multiple versions. It's actually really a matter of sitting down and re examining how do we define music and how will people consume it in the new era. Again, just want to emphasize I am in no way questioning the success of Taylor Swift. This is more about how Billboard and Western media are actually looking at what Asian acts are doing, and quite honestly, how they can prevent themselves from being irrelevant, because the incoming generation, the Gen Z and even the Gen Alpha, they're changing so much. They don't have the same concept of celebrities anymore. Movie stars, you know, those are nothing to them. The celebrities for them are influencers and alternative media personalities. So Billboard and other Western media companies will have to catch up. Would love to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below. You can say whatever it is that you want to say. Just please do so respectfully. You should be seeing the QR code on your screen right now. Please consider donating to the channel. We are on a soft launch on the online magazine, asianentertainmentandculture.com. Please visit it. Any criticisms, constructive criticisms, recommendations, corrections, I would appreciate it. And hopefully by next month, we can do a proper, or by the end of the month, a proper actual release or launch of the magazine. Also, please follow me on X, IG, but more importantly on Patreon, because that's where the community is. If you want some conversations, people to discuss with, movies, TV shows, and other things, that's a place for you. We do have a free tier just in case you want to try things out. Also, please follow me or support me in YouTube membership. I do have a exclusive live stream and some videos that don't go public. That's it. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button. But more importantly, the thing that will really help us is if you share. Share it to your friends, to your family members. Leave a link on your social media, on your email, everywhere. That's going to push the algorithm to recommend this more.